Music in my head.
Right. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, everyone. We're at Elevating Life. How to elevate in your love, your interactions, your focus, and your energy. I am Sheila, and I'm so glad to be here
Hey, Sheila.
with with my co-host Danielle. Um, Before we start, I want you guys to go follow us on YouTube and make sure you subscribe to that channel so that you can get the updates of our show. Stay in touch, see what we got going on, any type of I don't know, deals we want to do, or just watch the shows, right?
Oh,
Join our
all the
manifest,
amazing content.
right? Make sure you join our Elevate or How to Manifest Your Life challenge. That's at www.manifest. I mean dot elevateherchallenge.com. And back to my introduction. I'm Sheila Little. I am the what is it, the creator of the Stop and Now program, which truly helps individuals to stop doing the things that that's keeping them from getting the results they want. If that's the results in a relationship, Miss Danielle, if it's the results in a business, if it's the results in a personal life and they weight. So, and at the beginning of the year, I'll be opening up my books again. So I'm excited about that. So look at that. Keep a lookout for that. And Miss Danielle.
Boom. I'm Danielle MacArthur,
Mm-hmm.
DCDR Solutions, small business entrepreneurship coach for all the newbies that want to transition from that side hustle. I focus on not only the mindset that you need to go into business, but also processes, standardizations, all the stuff nobody wants to do, but you have
Mm-hmm.
to do it. Uh,
Right.
making sure that the business is viable.
Right. Hey, you guys, make sure you comment, like, and share because this right here,
This right here.
this show, this show is it's going to be a beautiful show, right? It's about manifest. So we in our free week. It's actually week 5, but so we're going to talk about manifesting, right? What is manifesting relationships? What does that look like? And what does that don't look like, right? So today's topic is manifest the relationship you want. I bet you a lot of people's like, ding, 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 ding. Let me see what that's about, right? Because I remember a time where I wanted to manifest the relationship that I wanted, right? Like I knew what I wanted on the inside, but it was just very difficult for me to experience that on the outside. Now, when I'm talking about relationships, Miss Danielle, in this particular thing, we're talking about intimate relationships and things like that.
Okay.
But I just feel like we're in relationship with everything, right? So I'm in a
That's how I
relationship.
see it.
Yeah, I'm in a relationship with
Business.
my money. I'm in a relationship with my business. I'm in a relationship with my clothes. I'm in a relationship with my kids, my family, you know, the individuals that I date. I'm in relationship with everything. And so to me, the first step to manifesting is having a mindset of what a relationship is. And so hopefully from this conversation, individuals will not only take what we talk about and look at all of their relationships, but in some way transfer that knowledge to these other areas, like with their money, in their business, in their career, in their kids, right? Because we're in relationship with everything, but the most important relationship we're in is with who, Miss Danielle?
Myself.
With ourselves. Hey Danielle. Hey Patty Cake. Um, Thank you for sharing. So yeah, our relationship with ourselves. And so, if you guys didn't watch our show last week or the last 2 shows, it was about self care, love of self, right? And since this is elevating life, how to elevate in your love of self, your interactions with others, your focus, and your energy, we're talking about interactions. These interactions. So we talk about love of self. Now we're talking about interactions. But before we start, let's take our mindful moment. It's 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's 8 o'clock her time.
Still late.
um, and so I just want to kind of bring us together with a nice present breath, right? A breath doesn't just, it's not like this old cliche thing. It actually kind of releases, right? We breathe really shallow in our life. And so making a conscious effort to take a conscious breath is really healthy. So let's take a deep breath. And then let's breathe that thing right on out. Okay. Now, What do you want to say? Hold on, I'm sharing my post. Yo, you know I'm the engineer, so I have to do stuff. So, Miss
Multitask.
Danielle,
Yes,
first
ma'am.
question. We're going into discovery. So, our show is set up in a way because we definitely want you to be able to get the content. I'm trying to work on cutting back the content, right? So we can hit boom, boom, boom. So we're in the discovery stage, right? And this discovery stage is really what is something, right? So let's discover what is manifest. Do you know what
Ooh.
manifest is? Because this is a word that,
Is being very well, depending on the circles that you're in, it can be used a lot.
yeah, it's used a lot, and it's a powerful word. Like the
It
word
is.
is used in the Bible, and it's a solid word. But do we really know what manifest is? What do you think manifest is? I keep pointing this way, but it's
I
this is
know. So for me, manifesting means kind of taking what you want in your mind and making it real. What you
yeah, yeah,
desire in your soul and making it become a tangible thing in real life.
right.
That's my
So to
hippie
make,
version.
yeah, to make evident or certain by showing and displaying. I got that from Google. Had to cite it.
I
Right.
see.
But manifest is truly that. Like, it's like you are actually bringing something from the invisible world into the physical world. So your desire would be invisible, right? Nobody sees that. Nobody knows that, right? Your vision is invisible. Like, it's just in your mind, it's an idea. So, what do you need to do to extract that idea and make it a real experience, right? And I think, we hear stuff like the law of attraction and like, all of these things. And it's like, and this is where I feel like it's essential because we don't manifest what we want, we manifest who we are. And this is why it's so important. This conversation is so important because we have to learn how to heal and become the change we want to see in the world. So then that core desire of our heart can be manifested. But a lot of us have walls up. A lot of us have still a lot of
Anger and just
anger.
low
We
vibration kind of emotions.
yes, and it's like, and then now you manifesting that, and you
And
like,
you're
well, what?
wondering where it's coming from.
Right, like, why? Like, wait, I'm praying, yeah, but you praying, but you ain't forgave, you ain't let go of your past. So how you gonna manifest something if you ain't let go of the thing that's holding you back now? That's what's keep manifesting that, and I think that people think like, oh, I can pray about this thing, and then it's supposed to show up, and then we get mad when it don't. But it's like, no, because there's a level of you that has to be worked on, which is your subconscious mind, which is your limiting beliefs, and that's where you manifest from. You don't manifest from your conscious mind. We manifest from this subconscious, like these deeper beliefs. So you can't manifest the man you want if you don't even believe he exists. You
Truly,
can't
look,
manifest. Yeah, you
and
can't manifest.
truly believe, because that's a question I always pose to people because they'll say stuff, and it's like, but do you really believe that, or are you just saying something you've heard and kind of
Yeah,
believe?
yeah,
Because it's
yeah,
exactly what you said. If you don't fully believe it, then it's not going, ain't gonna
yeah,
show up.
yeah. And then how do you know what you believe? It's like in your conversations, like, girl, all men cheat, or oh, well, you can't trust nobody, but you looking for relationships to trust, but you don't even believe you can trust anybody. Like you can't manifest a trusting relationship if you don't even believe that exists, right? So so yeah, so we have to be very mindful of what it is we really believe, right, about our desires, so that we
Ourselves.
can be in alignment with that, so we can manifest that, so we can make that thing evident in our life. Because what you making evident in your life right now is based off a belief system. And if you grew up in a community like mine, then you got a lot of broken beliefs about relationships, about money, about what your potential is or what you got to do. You just been kind of reared wrong. I
By
don't like the
nobody's
word
fault.
wrong, by
Just
nobody's fault, because that's all like the word wrong. But you just been kind of reared from a generation that had limitations, and they
misguided.
put those limitations on you. And so now you just keep yielding that. So you may have accelerated in your career. You making good money. You know what I mean? You looking good. You know, on the outside, your hair done, nails done, everything big. But then you still attracting trash. And I said that in quotations because I don't think nobody trash, but I'm saying that's what people say. Like we
Trash
still
that
attracting the
things you don't
aspect of
want.
us.
That when
Yeah,
I say
things.
trash, it means it's something I don't want. Like you
Yeah.
said, it's
Oh,
not
I
that
love
there's
that.
something bad about the person. It's
Yes.
just what do you
Yes.
do with something you don't want? You throw it away.
Yes. Yes. I like that. So you attracting trash, something you don't really want, and then you trying to make trash something you want or fix it
You're
up
trying to
or
turn
even
trash into treasures.
yeah, but they do say one man's trash is another man's treasure, but
Yes, one
not
man's
in this.
trash, but not your trash can't be your treasure. One
So
man's trash is another man's treasure.
yeah, so we definitely have to understand that we're manifesting sometimes from a broken space. You know what I mean? And it's fumes of that needs to be in an aroma that you're giving off that is definitely stopping you from having the relationship that you want. And if you need help with that, again, DM us, have a get a free consult because a lot of times we think we have the check marks. Well, I'm did this, I got the education, I got this, I look good. Why is it that? And then I'm like, okay, what kind of home did you grow up in? What did you see growing up? What are some of the beliefs you have around that? And then it's like, well, yeah, well, I don't believe it. I'm just hoping for it. Well, you know what? Hope is a good thing, you know, and
But it
faith
ain't
is a,
everything.
yeah, but we got to change the belief, right? About these relationships. So now, then what is a relationship?
Bond with somebody. I don't know that one.
You're gonna say a bond with somebody, a bond with somebody, right? So a relationship is a connection, an association, or an involvement, right? And it's simply put, I look for the most simplest
I see.
definition off of Google, because I think that we even make the word relationship complicated. You know what I mean? Like, are you in a relationship or are you in a relationship? Well, guess what? You're in a relationship with everybody. So
Everybody.
now you get to determine what that relationship is, what that association look like, how
That part.
involved you are, right? But a lot of times, Miss Danielle, we can't even involve ourselves or associate ourselves or connect in the way we want to because we have some blocks, because we have some issues, because we've been hurt, because we've been lied to, cheated on. And so we want you to show up first in a way so that we can make you in a way like make the next move or do the next thing or prove to me that you're worthy of my love. Prove to me you're worthy of my trust. You gotta prove it to me. And I'm like, no, actually, you have to walk and kind of experience these things, right? And this is where wisdom comes in because now you start to use your wisdom to say what kind of association this is going to be, what level of involvement I'm gonna have in this, and then what kind of connection I'm gonna have. But some of us just jump head in. Like I'm at the first day, he my husband.
Yeah.
Girl, come home, get on your cell phone, girl. Let me tell you, I done met my husband tonight.
Yikes.
Your husband.
Hey, look, I've met men like that. Let's be 100% real. It's a
You my
lot of
wife.
men out there
Yeah.
that like,
Yeah.
ooh, I met my wife. You don't even know her.
Right, right. So we'll jump head in and we will involve ourselves at a deeper level, associate ourselves at a deeper level, connect at a deeper level, and then be like, whoa, Nelly, what I got myself into,
What I
right?
done got myself into.
So I think that comes to kind of our next part of this conversation. How do we know we're in a unhealthy relationship? So before we can talk about what a healthy relationship looks like, Miss Danielle, what are some signs that you may be in a unhealthy? The word toxic comes up a lot. Me and you just had this conversation about toxic because I don't really like the word toxic.
The word toxic is toxic.
It's like everything is toxic,
Dysfunctional. How about dysfunctional? Maybe.
maybe, But here's my thing. Then I'm gonna curb off of this one, and I'm gonna do
And
some
I'm going
Sheila
to
stuff right
thesaurus.
now. I really feel like whatever you judge a person as, you're actually judging yourself, right? Your ears have to hear that judgment. You have to experience those words. So when you call a person toxic or you call a person dysfunctional, then your body is not you are a unconscious vessel, and you
Look,
hearing that same
so I just looked up the
thing.
synonyms for toxic:
Mm-hmm.
poisonous, venomous, virulent, noxious, dangerous, destructive. That's a
Mm-hmm.
very angry word.
That's very angry. And I don't know if people are toxic or if everybody is on their own journey. Now, some
Yes.
people just at a point in like they only want to grow. This is where I'm at. I'm comfortable and I don't want what you want. Right. And then we have to know how to say, oh, okay, you're at this step.
We're at
That
different
doesn't
places.
make you a bad person because you don't want what I want. Let me move on so I can go get what I want. And that's
Yeah.
in our careers, Miss Danielle. That's in our family. That's in our relationships. But that don't make that person a bad person because they don't want what you want, or that don't make them toxic because they can't communicate at the level you communicate at, or they don't desire the things you desire. But I see so many people like, oh, they just toxic. All they want to do is do this, and now
They
it's like
only
this
think about
backbiting.
themselves or something like
Yeah,
that. It's like they may be at a point of growth that you may
yeah.
not be able to comprehend.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, and literally, they just on their own journey. Listen, it's three lanes on the highway. You in the fast lane, they in the slow lane, or maybe you in the slow lane and they in the fast lane. But give them the space to do them, and then like you give yourself the space. So let's talk about how do we know though we're in a oh, I hate this word toxic,
Unhealthy,
unhealthy.
non-functional. I don't because I don't want to
Oh,
say
I like that.
I don't want to say dysfunctional. It's just not, or
Not function.
non-productive.
Yeah, yeah. Miss Danielle, you always walking on eggshells. Huh? Oh, Lordy. So these are the relationships where, and I had a relationship like this where it's like I'm thinking about how I'm gonna say what I need to say because I don't want it to, I
Blow
don't
up.
want him to feel this way. And I ain't even saying like in relationships. I'm saying with family members, you know, with coworkers. Like it's just like I gotta in some way
You got to
like
navigate. You got to navigate a whole maze before you even have a conversation with this person. It's
I
like you
gotta
got to
go
run
into
an obstacle
prayer,
course before you even have
meditation.
a conversation.
I
What
gotta
you
go
say?
into prayer and meditation. Okay. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
if you
say
got a
this.
woo saw before you have a conversation with somebody,
Yeah,
mm,
you walking on eggshells. This is not healthy. And the reason why it's not healthy, Miss Danielle, is because there's no communication. There's no full
yes,
communication. And if you feel like you're walking on eggshells, 9 times out of 10, you're in a state where you're trying to control the outcome too. So a part of you walking on eggshells is because you're controlling. You're trying to control the dynamic of the, okay, I want to tell them this. And if I want to get this response from them, then I may have to say it in a gentle way. And it's just like you don't have integrity. Let's just say that. You're
yes,
walking on eggshells, you're not standing in your full integrity in a relationship. So you're not truly being who you are, saying what you want to say because you have some fears around that. What you think, Miss Danielle? And,
a
and and let me know, you know,
1,000%.
fam,
I said a
huh?
1,000%. Unfortunately, I have this with my mother, but
Mm-hmm.
at times, but
Mm-hmm.
yes, it's that. It's almost like playing Russian roulette, where
Yeah.
it's just you try to spin the barrel to make sure you're not gonna get shot, but you never know when the bullet's coming.
Yeah, yeah. This was a good one. You feel a little queasy, uneasy.
Poisonous, toxic, noxious,
N-
venomous.
Now, okay, so I got these off of Reader's Digest, and I really like these ones because I definitely want to bring facts. But this one was interesting because it said like when you get stressed,
Your body's going to tell you.
right, your body is smart. So if you eat some poison, you're going to throw up, right? If something get in your eye's going to water and it's going to tear up to get that thing out your eye. When you're stressed, your hair is going to fall out. So guess what happens when you're in an unhealthy relationship? You start to feel stuff in your body like ulcers, dizziness, chest pains, headaches, right?
You
Because
can
now you're
lost the
thinking too hard,
appetite.
right? So the physical illness could be a manifestation. If you find yourself just got having headaches all the time, or your stomach hurt, you got diarrhea, or remember your digestive system is what you're digesting, right? So if you're not able to digest right, your head is where you're thinking at. You got chest pains. This is where your heart is at. Like if you find yourself having these type of issues, right? It could be a result of the relationships that you're in and the level of health and functionality of those relationships. The way you just picked that up and drunk that was like, I ain't got nothing to say. Next one.
Look, man,
But serious.
people don't pay. That's a whole nother rant, and I'm gonna save for another day. But people don't pay attention to their bodies enough, and we're extremely evolved. Our
Yeah,
bodies are amazing things, and if
yeah, and
people
they
just
speak to
really
you.
became more in tune with themselves, it
Hmm.
would it would open up their eyes. And this is
Yeah,
one of the reasons, like because we're energy, and when
yeah.
somebody has that negative energy, and it's almost like you getting shocked, like it's a
Hmm.
reaction, so
Hmm.
that
And you're absorbing it.
you can feel a person's negative energy, and that's what happens.
If you're around it enough and you let it in. And a lot of times we see so much illness or dis-ease, right? When we're in these relationships. And a part of it is a consequence of you not living your highest best self or being your highest best self. And all that stuff is just stuck in you. And your body is communicating, hey, there's some dis-ease here. And it's showing up in these various places. All right. You're always fighting.
Red flag parade.
This is
I don't even
huge.
think you need to explain this.
I kind of want to go into this because one, I think that sometimes, like they say, makeup sex is like the best sex. And so sometimes we fight to see if we love each other. But all of these reasons for fighting is a form of dysfunction, right? Right. It's like you hollering at each other.
See if they
Nobody
love
can
each
hear each
other.
other talking, huh?
I said
Yeah. Oh,
people
yeah.
fight.
Well, I mean, that's why they say sex is
No, sorry,
like
not a
that.
fan.
So you ain't never heard that before.
I've heard it. I just don't. That is no. I'm
Don't
not a fan.
subscribe to it. Well,
No, I do not.
I'm just gonna say there was a couple of times I'm like, I'm gonna get in an argument because I know he gonna be mad and then he gonna,
Ew.
yeah. Don't
No.
ill me. Don't ill me. I'm
No.
just
See,
saying. I'm 43 now. I'm talking about over my life. Yes,
I
and
got no. I
I
got
can't
no. It's
say that it wasn't. He wasn't mad. He wasn't like, girl, I'm gonna get you. And I was like, forgive
I,
me then. But
I understand.
I grew out of that.
I'm about to say yes. I acknowledge the concept, but my problem is my brain runs everything, and if
Hmm.
I know somebody did something to intentionally make me mad, it shuts everything down.
Oh,
Shuts it down.
oh. So you
Ain't
ain't
nothing
never
worse.
had no good makeup sex?
I've had much better happy, much better happy. When Danielle is angry, it's not a good place to be. I'm a Gemini.
Oh,
We don't
yeah.
like to venture to the dark side.
Yeah, but you always fight. Let's go back to topic. You always fighting, and is there a level of conflict in relationships that's healthy? Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody is going to disagree regarding it, but when you fighting over everything, like that's a problem because that's just a stressful environment to be in, and sometimes you don't even want to fight, right? Sometimes you just want to come home. Sometimes you just want to have a conversation, and it ain't 0 to 10. Everything is so dramatic all the time. This is different than fighting, right? This is like Oh, so
Extra.
you gonna open extra. Say, oh, so you just ain't finna pick up your phone and you seen I call you. It's not even we're arguing. It's just a level of everything is
You have to be on the
dramatized.
yeah, you have to be on the defensive, not ready for an argument, but
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
she gonna
like
say
take
something because I took
yeah,
2 minutes to answer the phone. So,
yeah, take it down a notch, take it down a notch. So again, these are things that to recognize if you're in unhealthy relationship. And again, I'm not just talking about intimate relationships. Remember, we're talking about just relationships in general. So if everything is dramatic, always dramatic all the time, like every time you call them, it's like, let me tell you what happened at work. Oh, you did
I was
this.
just
Or
about
it's
to
just
say this
like
could be
this.
really applicable to friends.
Yeah, like everything is just like so dramatic where when you feel drained as a consequence of the interactions. It's like, now you can't make up, this one ain't a good makeup sex afterwards because you tired. I'm like, you know what? All that right there, I'm tired. Like, it's like, I'm finna go to sleep. Huh? I'm
Get
finna
out of
go
my
to sleep, go
face.
have a drink, do something. Just,
Get out of
just,
my face.
all right. Your partner wants you all to themselves,
Red
himself,
flag
and then,
parade.
right. You know,
It can be cute, but it's very immature. It can be
it's
cute
so
for a
cute.
day. It can be
It's
cute
so
for a week.
cute. It's so cute to some people, but it is unhealthy because you are a diverse individual, right? And so when the individual tries to hold you back from your friends, your family, certain situations, and make it a problem, and this is not just for female, like a male female thing. This is also females who do this to men. Like, I don't want you hanging around him, or you shouldn't do this, or why you doing that, or why these are this is unhealthy because you are a person that came to the relationship with relationships,
That part.
right? So that means that if I cultivated you with these relationships, I dated you with these relationships, we dated for some time and I had these relationships. Why now do we have to get rid of the relationships that actually was a part of me coming in? And I have this conversation with people because I don't think we see it like that. Like, wait, I always say, I want you to have the relationships you had when you came to me because you are a byproduct of those relationships. So if
Yes.
I try to take one of those relationships out and say, oh no, you can't talk to that person no more. Well, what if that person was like, yo, fun, giggly, I don't know, person that kind of was an
Your goofy
outlet for
outlet.
you.
Your goofy
Yeah.
outlet. I got one
And
of
now you
those.
don't got that no more.
And
And
now
I
you
can't
sad.
replace that, right? And now you coming around, I'm like, well, why are you so mean all the time? Why? Well, I just basically cut off or amputated a person that brung that part to you, right? And I like that about you when I met you. So for me, the people who are not supposed to be a part of your life as our relationship evolves will dissolve. Like, I don't have to amputate you from anybody, nor do you get permission to amputate me from anybody, you
That
know?
part.
And if people try to do that, then that's a sign of them being controlling, and that's unhealthy. Okay?
Not sustainable.
Miss Danielle, you keep score. Well, why you ain't answer your phone this week? Well, I ain't say nothing when you ain't answer the phone last week. Well, why you ain't do this? Well, I ain't say that when last time you said it. Or, oh, this is big. You
Trigger
bring an
alert.
argument up and now they want to talk about something that they was mad about 3-4 weeks ago. Well, what about the time when you wait? And I used to let that slide, like, oh, well, and now my argument is like none and void. We're not talking about it anymore. And now we still don't have resolve for your argument. This is big in relationships, and this is a big issue with communication. I have a problem today with something you did today. You bring up something I did last week.
It's a
Today,
never
Sheila,
ending cycle.
yeah,
Anytime
today,
you do
Sheila,
exactly what it's like, it's a competition. At this point, it's a soccer game. All right, who can score the goal? You're
yeah.
just kicking the ball back and forth.
But let
It's
me
not
tell you, today Sheila's like, you know what? And when I did that 2 weeks ago, you should have said something, right? But this is my time and this is my problem. We're going to talk about my issue right now. And when we're done, then we can talk about that thing that happened 2 weeks ago. Like, you don't get permission to bring up old stuff now that I got a problem, because you had 2 weeks to bring up that problem to me. But people will do this, like try to keep score, like, well, you did wrong, and when you did that, I ain't say nothing, so why should I? This is very unhealthy. This is an unhealthy dynamic to have in any relationship, a business partner, with
Friend
friends, with your coworkers. Like, this dynamic, you can never, I
is
want, what come up in my spirit
non-productive.
is like, yeah, you can never get ahead, right? It's just like, man, or
Unproductive.
just let me know, family, let me know if this
Is it
is a dynamic you done been through, seen happen, or demonstrated yourself, right?
unproductive?
Number 7, stone walls. I hate this.
What? So I've heard this word, but what's it, so break it down, Sheila. What's a stone wall? I mean, is
Well,
this
they just
just
don't talk.
okay? That's
They
the
just shut you
I don't want to
down.
talk about this.
I'm not gonna talk about that. We're not
Well,
gonna talk about that. That's not something I'm gonna talk about. I'm done. You know. Oh, it is like, and I've gotten stonewalled by family members again. So this ain't like just conducive to relationships, but I've gotten stonewalled by family members and in relationships when I was younger. And it's just not a good feeling, because you're looking for an answer, right? You're looking for clarity. You're looking for something, and the person may have it, they may not have it. But instead of them saying, I don't know, let me get back to you, like, they just don't say nothing. Or they may go week, days without talking to you, right? And then now you just assuming, like, oh, this person is mad at me. Are they mad at me? What did I say? So in your mind, now you have a narrative of, okay, well, did I say this? Did I, was he, is he mad about this? Like, you really don't know specifically what the issue is. You know
and
what I mean?
I gotta bring up what came up in my spirit because I was just talking about this because I know we've been talking about personal relationships, but my pet peeve is when adults do this to children.
Oh yeah.
That is the number one where it's like you don't treat them like human beings. Like, how
Mm-hmm.
would you feel if somebody did that to you? If
Mm-hmm.
somebody's asking a question, because I was talking to my husband about something, I was like, yeah, when I was younger, you got punished for asking questions,
Mm-hmm.
and when you it was probably only because whatever question you asked made your parent feel insecure
Right.
or they didn't like the fact that you observed something, but you were
Mm-hmm.
punished for asking a question. And
Right.
it's like and you get a wall up, and then it's also discipline on top of that wall, and it's
Right.
like
Right.
grow up
Right.
with that.
Right. But
So don't do it to
stonewalling
your
is a big thing, and it's a big deal, and a lot of individuals deal with this, and they just either waiting for the call back or waiting for whatever, and then the person was like, oh, I was mad, oh, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, and then they end up doing it again and again, and it's just not a good feeling to be the recipient of this behavior, and it plays into any type of narrative that you may have about yourself. So, like, if you had a narrative that you're not good enough or you didn't do something right, and that person stonewalls you, then that creates more of that feeling of, I didn't do anything. And it goes back to now the walking on eggshells, right? And then the feeling,
all
the
connected.
the body thing, you know what I mean? Like, and then it can result in the fighting, or like, now I don't know how to communicate, so I'm just going to scream at you, and it's just going to get dramatic, right? Because it's just not a good thing, and I see that a lot in my couples therapy, like the stonewalling part. And it's a behavior that I've seen hurt a lot of people.
It's the same
This
as
is
keeping score, isn't it?
No, because this is like a power tug of war, and this is different because
Oh, okay.
in keeping score, it's like, well, when you said that, I didn't do nothing, right? So it's literally like, or the last time I did this, a power. This tug of war is more from an imbalance of power, right? So we may see this in relationships where a male may be with a female, and she may make more money, or she may have a little bit of more of authority or work, and I'm just giving this as a simple thing, and
Mhm.
he doesn't feel adequate, right? And so he may do some things like stonewalling. He may do some things very aggressive to play this tug of war with her. Like, oh, well, I'm going to hold this back from you. Or, oh, I'm going to do this, right? Because he doesn't have any power. So he's leveraging some things against her. And so this, or like, oh, you ain't cleaning up or you ain't around your kids, right? So this tug of war is truly like this pull back and forth of like who, and it's really based around power, right?
Okay.
And we see this in a lot when there is different power dynamics in relationships. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I say men, I've seen it more from men who say, well, I'm not oh, I don't care that she got a better job than me. I don't care, how, I don't know how it really could show up in a woman if she feels inferior to a man or may not feel. Oh, maybe she may hold her goods back from her
I was
goodies,
just about
right?
to say
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can restrict access or
yeah.
do
So
petty
maybe,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. So maybe she may be like, "Oh, well, we ain't having sex tonight," or
Yeah.
I ain't feeding you, right? So now
Yeah, I was just
she's,
that's where my
yeah,
mind went. Like, I ain't cooking tonight. You think you
yeah,
can go buy
yeah.
you
Nah,
some food?
yeah. Like, so he may be paying all the bills and he may have an authority, but she's using whatever she has to kind of pull against him. These are signs, again, of unhealthy dynamics. And if you're in a relationship that has more than one of these, you're keeping score, you're stonewalling or being stonewalled, um, you're being isolated by your partner, everything
Exactly.
is it's dramatic. Hey, listen, you're starting to feel sick, you're getting headaches, your body is starting to speak to you in a way. I mean, you're walking on eggshells. I think it'll be time to start taking inventory on that relationship. Does that mean that the relationship you in is over? I can't say that, but it definitely needs some help and assistance.
It
So I
needs to
would
be
say
reevaluated.
it probably does need to be reevaluated. I have something. Oh, this was the last. You feel like I ain't signed up for this.
I don't know why this makes me laugh so hard every time you say it.
Whew.
Sounds like a bad car deal. Like when you go in.
You just in your bed, like listening to him snore. Like, I don't think I signed up for this, Lord. Listen,
That
I,
reminds me of
I don't know if this is what I thought
this
a
was a
committed
Chris Rock
relationship was gonna
joke.
look like, huh?
This was a Chris Rock joke, and he was talking about he's like, well, your woman, she just looking at you like your ugly self. I don't know what I'm doing with your ugly self. Like he has a whole joke. Oh my gosh. And I remember I was in a relationship watching this video while and I was feeling like that. And I was just like, this is so awkward because I was laughing
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hard and he was not laughing.
Yeah, or like you taking care of all of the tasks, and then he back there watching, TV, laughing hard. You in there washing dishes. Like, I don't know if I signed up for this, right? Like, I'm just saying. So you just have the feeling of I don't know if I signed up for this, right? Because
Something don't feel right.
yeah, it just this is
It's
not
like a
what I
bad
wanted for my
card.
life. This is not what I wanted for my relationship. This is not where I saw myself at, and it becomes like a heavy weight of feeling like, man, how did I get here? You know what I mean? Like, and you go into thinking, like, how did I get here? And again, I deal with a lot of relationships that I don't think I signed up for this, Miss Sheila. And I'm like, well, what did you sign up for? Because a lot of times we end up, Miss Danielle, signing up for something because we didn't know what we wanted in the beginning. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? Right? So we
Or
didn't have a clear vision for
yes.
what kind of relationship we wanted to be in. And then we just, the first person available, or the first person that was interested, or the first person that showed interest, was like, okay, you know, two stories. So one, I was listening to this story about women and how men choose women. And so it's like, well, why did you marry him? Because he asked me to. And it's like, okay, there was no other criteria for that. Like, because she wanted to be married, right?
There's a
And
little bit more to it than that. Just
yeah,
just a
Miss Danielle, I
tad.
think I think it's a little bit more to it than that, but I don't think you know that it's a
Just a
little bit more
dash.
to it than that when you're when you're only looking or focused on one aspect of the relationship, you know? And when you're only focused on that aspect, if it's, I want, you know, a Bonnie and Clyde or a Jay-Z and Beyonce relationship, and I'm a hustler and he a hustler, and we just gonna fit real good together. And that's the image, that's the only thing I'm seeing. Now I get with him, realize he got sleep apnea, realize he got some other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know
So
if I
I got
or
quick
realize he
example.
can't walk or he not as healthy or and I'm giving these things one because we're in our day and age in our 30s and our 40s. I feel like we should be a lot more healthier than we actually are, and I feel like we bring these health issues into relationships, and then we become it becomes a part of the relationship dynamic, and a lot of people did sign up for that. Does that make sense? Like, I think we have a responsibility to
Oh
our
yeah,
own health. So
that's
when I bring it
big.
up, I'm not trying to be funny, but I feel like a
No, but
lot of
you're
times.
look, real talk. Look, if you got knee problems, back problems, like I have an issue with my hips that can cause very like I can barely walk if I do
Sometimes,
certain
yeah.
things. Like you said, that it
Mm.
impacts things
Yeah,
at
yeah,
times. Like you got to be up front. If you got high blood pressure, even if
yeah,
it's something as what you
yeah,
think may be minor, it can
yeah.
be
Or
impactful.
migraines, right? If you got migraine headaches,
Migraines,
I
that's
think that's
big.
something that you talk about in the relation, you know, in the beginning. Let me know that this is an ailment you have, but don't hide these ailments. And then now we together, and it's like you come
Oh,
in
by
with
the
this
way, I'm
big
bringing my
bag,
CPAP over.
or I'm breaking my bag of medicine. Like, wait, I don't know if I signed up for that, you know.
Baby,
and,
help me
and,
to
and
change my
vice versa, and vice versa. So, you know, things with women, if you know that, you know, you have issues with bleeding, or you're not, you know,
That's big, yeah.
sexual, or you know what I mean, or you know, it's just certain things you're just not willing to do, you know, sexually or with your mate or whatever, and you know, like, you absolutely is not going to do this, but you're placating that, and then he gets with you, and it's like, oh well, I don't believe in having sex, you know, 3 times a week. You get
And
it
you
once
know,
a month or twice a month.
I've heard, I've talked to people and they'll tell me stories about that, like how, and I've heard it from both sides. Like when once they got married, the wife switch up, and it's like, why would you do that? Like you
Yeah,
literally just wanted a husband title
yeah,
without the husband job,
yeah, yeah.
and vice
Well,
versa.
I think, and again, I think it's a mindset, right? I think that, one, we have an idea. I always say that a wedding or is a celebration of the relationship that we have, right? So if I'm marrying you, that means that you've already displayed the characteristics of my husband, and I'm just celebrating that in public with everybody else, right? Meaning you ain't got to change. But a lot of people have a belief system that, oh, once I become your husband or once I become your wife, then in some way now these behaviors start to show or exhibit themselves, or that's the cutoff line for the old me to the new me. But I feel like, you know, well, that's unfair because now I don't even know this person that I'm married to.
It
You know what I
doesn't make,
mean?
and it's, I feel like a lot of it is where you'll hear people, oh, they change. No, were you paying attention?
Mm-hmm.
Because they were probably showing you, but
Mm-hmm.
because you had a different goal in mind, you weren't paying attention to the signs. It's kind of like those magic tricks where they're doing
Yeah.
stuff in the background,
Yeah.
but you're only focused on the front. Like you can
Yeah.
still see stuff going on
Yeah.
if you really look. And
Yeah.
sometimes things are more obvious. And because I've had conversations with people and they'll be talking about their relationship, and I was like, well, were they doing that before? They're like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
But I
Was it
do think that people do have a belief, Miss Danielle, that even if they was doing it before, that at this point that behavior would stop,
yeah, we
or
grown. I
some
heard
other behavior would start. And I'm glad that you're saying the things you're saying, because I really do feel like it is people who truly, one, have your response. Well, why would you change? Well, because people feel like that this thing requires a change, or this shift requires a change. But this is why it's so important. And when we go into strategies about how to build a healthy relationship and manifest a healthy relationship, this is why it's so important for individuals to really start communicating on one, what you need from a relationship. And then this is so important. And then what do you want to give that relationship? One of the things that and I know we do it as women, I want him to do this, I want him to be this way, I want him to have this job, I want this, and then I have to say, okay, but what are you going to give to the relationship? What are you going to do in that relationship? I wonder if I have it, if this the book. So I did this exercise. I don't know if it's in here, but it's like on one side you write every quality that you want to experience in a relationship, and then on the other side you write every quality you want to give in a relationship. Now here's the other part. Then you think about, well, what kind of qualities would my husband want from me, or my boyfriend want from me? Like, what if this is the type of man I want, then who do he want me to show up as? And being honest with yourself. And now, what do you need to do to become that thing that you feel like he's going to desire in you, right? So if that's, oh, he's going to want a woman who stays physically fit. He's going to want a woman who's more mild mannered. He's going to want, if you've been seeing this idea man, now what kind of woman you think he wants? You know what I mean? And then write that down. This just gives you a vision for it. I ain't saying write it down like like you turn it into your teacher or right? But it's truly like really seeing how you think, right? Like, oh, because guess what? A lot of times you may think that man, and men on the show, let me know if I'm right. You may think that man wants something from you that he don't even want from you.
He
You
don't
know what I
even
mean?
care.
He don't even care about that.
He
Like,
don't
you
even
care about that.
care.
You
They're
know?
very simple creatures.
Yeah. They're very simple creatures. Yeah. I think
They
they
are.
very simple, but I think they complicated. They just as
They're
complicated as
simple and
us.
I mean, men and women. That's all the daggone same. We're simple and complicated at the same
At the same
time.
damn time. It was something like
And
this though. If you see these two, like I had a page wrote
yeah,
because I write down everything, but like just get a piece of paper, write the front one. What do I want in a mate? Two, what do I want to give in that relationship? And three, what do I think he wants? Because a lot of times we get stuck on what we think the person wants, and then we disqualify ourselves based on what we think that person wants, and they probably don't even want that. Or you probably realize that your list is not as extensive as you thought it was, or it's more extensive.
and for me, I interact. I have a lot of male friends, and I just you have to ask them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't assume. If you're in a situation with somebody, do not assume. Like you have to have that conversation because they may not have come up with a list and they
Mm-hmm.
may be winging it.
Right.
And
Right.
they may hit a point where they realize, oh, this ain't, ooh, I didn't want this. And, there's this disconnect. And so I'm very heavy on the communication side, asking questions.
Asking questions. So you guys, we're gonna go into strategy, but we're actually gonna do part two of our strategy on our YouTube channel. So if y'all want to follow us over on YouTube and listen to that, because we're gonna try to segment our shows. So I definitely want to get through implementation and execution, right? So I mean, discovery. So what is manifestation? To make evident and certain. So that's basically bringing something from the invisible to the visible. It's like taking steam and making it ice.
Ooh, nice. Check you
Yeah,
out.
yeah, 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 yeah. I'll be trying. I think I'll be trying, right?
Ooh, so
What is
that's
a
over here
relationship?
checking my
A
job.
relationship is a connection, association, and involvement. And remember, we're in relationship with everything. And I encourage people, when you start to work on relationships, just don't focus on like an individual. Like, work on all your relationships, because you want to you want to be the change you want to see in the world. So when we go into strategies and we start talking about this, and I hope you guys follow us over on YouTube, and we start talking about these things, like, it's not just applying it to the person you're with now or to yourself. It's about applying these principles in the relationships that you have. And once you start to apply these principles in the relationships that you have, you will start to see those relationships start to shift. Okay. And again, the way we know we're in an unhealthy relationship, you're walking on eggshells. You're feeling sick all the time. There's some ailments and some disease in your body. You're always fighting. Everything is so dramatic. Your partner wants you all to themselves. Y'all keep a score with each other. You're being stonewalled. There's a consistent tug of war within the relationship. And you just basically feel like you didn't sign up for this. So make sure you guys, if you want to watch us, go over to our YouTube channel that says Shaping Solutions. Make sure you subscribe. If you have those things going on in your relationship, and you want to stop those things, you can join our Stop It Now movement, or and that's at www.stopittnowsolutions.com. I run those Stop It Now workshops, Mondays and Thursdays. And we talk about how to stop these things from happening so that you can start doing the things that you need to do to live the life that you desire, or to have the life that you desire and deserve. I thank you guys for watching us. Make sure you share this, like it, comment, and do all those things. And we'll see you next week right here on Facebook. Just on the same thing.
I don't
All
know.
right, you guys. I love you guys. Huh? See you guys next week.